Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Oracle forecast. Hope everybody has had a wonderful Sunday. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here for another week, another set of cards, and just glad to be with you today. So this week is going to be a massive one. So a lot of changes occurring. We've got major astrological placements, so we're technically still under um, that Neptune Saturn conjunction under Aries, even though we have crossed into Taurus season right now. We've also got Uranus just getting into Gemini, which I recently came across a really good video about that. If y'all are curious about it, I will paste it in the chat in case you want to see it. And we also got the full moon in Scorpio and the wheel of the year changing as well. So a lot of things are happening. A lot of things are happening. But hopefully with this, it should make it just a little bit easier to navigate all these good things. So with these card pulls we're going to do for you tonight, let's start to make it a little bit easier for you guys. So let's take a little bit of a deep breath, relax. You made it. It's a new week coming up. And so, especially with a new month coming up this Friday, it is a good time to give yourself a little bit of a recap, a little bit of a reset, a little bit of a review in terms of what things are going to come up for you this time. And at least Mercury is still direct right now. So this is a great time to really consider what it is that you want to bring more of into your life, as well as where you feel satisfied and content here and now. So how about we bring in a little bit of atmosphere? Because number one, it is it is going to be a new month pretty soon, so we might as well just make it nice and cozy. And then we will light a candle, make it a little special, and then we shall begin. So this is a really nice Japanese incense that I've been using for several years. I've been using it since I was a kid, I think, when I first started having this. I bought this when I was 10, and then I bought it again, I believe, last year when I visited the Shofusu Japanese house in Philadelphia. It's called Daigenko, which translates it to Great Origin. So if anybody wants to try this out, go for it. All right. It's also good. The nice thing with this stick is it also it doesn't have like the wooden sticks. So when you do burn this, it burns completely. Like the way they make this, it's entirely out of incense powder. So it's a little bit fragile, but the bright side is if you wanted to like split it up to have more time with it, you could easily do that. And you know when you light this, it's gonna burn clean through. So there's like no remnants. Like compared to a wooden stick of incense, like what you would come across with Indian incense, you'd have to come across like sticks like these, like left over, and it's like, what do you do with them? You can easily use it as like kindling or um, fuel for a fire. But these ones they burn clean most of the time, unless like you stick it into sand, then you might have like a little nub left over which you can still light. But for the most part, pretty nice burn. And the nice part is that like if you have more of a smoke allergy or you just prefer your scents to be much milder, Japanese incense is perfect for that because the smoke is not as intense, which it makes it difficult for scrying purposes, but it's great when it comes to if you want to like lightly scent a room. Kind of like potpourri if you catch my drift. And I'm gonna stick that right there on my desk altar here. And then gonna light this nice candle here. I didn't really dress it or anything. It's just a nice intentional light to really help us get through this week and get through the changes that we are going to anticipate through this weekend. And since the upcoming holiday is the season of Beltane, or some Americans like to pronounce it Beltane, as we get through this holiday coming up, as we turn the wheel of the year, may we continue to have insights in terms of what we need to what we need to welcome into our lives. May we embrace our pleasure and our mirth during this new season. And most importantly, may we remember our light and our magic, because we are that light, we are that magic. And may we demonstrate it to ourselves and as much as we do to others. And so it is. Beautiful. Okay. Go out a little candle, set to the side right here. Okay. With that, let's go ahead and get started with the reading. And this time I'm going to go a little bit different. So this time we're going to have a nice, full, presumably 5-song playlist for today. So it's going to be a little bit different, different people. So I wish I could play these tracks for y'all, but I need to find a copyright friendly service because I don't know what Queen Herbie would use for this. Because I know like most other popular labels would easily have copyright services for this, but with Queen Herbie, I don't know. And it would be lovely, absolutely lovely to play these tracks live. But I was going with a clever idea. Don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. So of, um, in lieu of not having the ability to play the tracks for you guys, I think what I'm going to do instead is I'll switch to my game display, which is a share screen setting, and I'm going to probably just share with you the lyrics to said songs. Even though it does like highlight like one lyric per song here. Sometimes showing the whole thing will give you the full context. I would love to play the songs for you, but I don't want to get copyright struck here, especially, I mean, even though I am a small creator, so it's a little less likely. YouTube's getting really bad about that, and I know Twitch does muting, and they especially target me a lot more with that. So as much as I want to play some here, they're starting to loosen up a little bit more recently with like DJ channels. I don't feel like gambling with that right now with the way things are going. So gonna play it safe here, and I'm gonna instead display, display the lyrics for you guys, and then I will interpret that way. I'll still listen to the songs myself, but you shall see it. Ah, that did not do anything at all. You guys shall see what I'm talking about here. Maybe I'll do it without displaying it. Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, because I mean, then again, it tends to be kind of explicit. Oh boy. Okay. We are starting with a zinger here that jumped out. So we're gonna have 6 songs in our playlist for this week. So fun. So let's see what wants to come up for Monday. Ooh, that's Tuesday. Hello. Wednesday. Yeah, saw that one. Wednesday. Wanted to fly. Hello, Thursday. I still need to watch the movie What Happened to Monday. Okay, Friday. Okay, so we're going to do the week here. And also, another thing that I think would be really fun, since this week I'm covering Queen Herbie songs, do yourselves a favor. If you happen, especially if you happen to be a member of my Discord server, I would love this. Please try out this quiz. It's Queen Herbie's Herbie House sorting system. She has she has these four houses akin to Hogwarts. So that's why what do each of the colors represent, which I'll show you right now. So this card jumped out as a jumper right here. The song Violence, Cockiness and Confidence I Ooze. The red represents Tiger House, which is about confidence and self-discovery. Purple represents Hummingbird House, which is about creativity and expression. Blue, which is the house I got sorted to, is about healing and grounding. And then there's Beetle House, which is about rituals and magic. She has a website for the cards on there, but she has yet to update any descriptions. I and she has been releasing quite a number of songs recently. She recently released a new song with Richard Carter called Overnight, which, if that sounds familiar, it's because Richard Carter used an Edith Piaf song and remixed it, and that remix became TikTok viral back in 2019. And then Queen Herbie did some vocals over it, and then everybody was like, official track when? Official track when? And then 7 years later, they finally made it, and it's out now. So if you want to listen to it, go listen to it. I've listened to it several times at this point. I love it. But, yeah, I am not sponsored by Queen Herbie. I'm just a big fan, okay? I love her music. Anyway, so the track that is like not overarching theme, but like the thing that jumps out is the song called Violence. And that is from, I think it's from the album Abracadabra, or no, not Abracadabra, Halloween. So like, you remember like Halloween, that concept? Let's see. Let's see right here. Okay. So what I'm getting with this one is, yeah, get ready for some groundwork because because of the Gemini energy that's popping up, be prepared to get a little bit upset, a little bit triggered. Not starting not to be a fan, not a fan of the term, but it's being overused. And also, hello, new viewer, G Rock Blues. Anyways, um, get ready for get ready for having some challenges ahead this week because there's going to be such a difference in tone. We're going to have already a difference of energy with all the astrological things I talked about earlier, but we're also going to have a big difference in terms of how we interact with people, and sometimes it's not going to be harmonious. If anything, we're going to have to be prepared to have some you're going to have some opposing opinions. And sometimes, yeah, you might have to maybe wake up and choose violence a little bit. But other times, you may have to, like, but I think for this week, the call for you is to actually pay attention to those opposing views because sometimes the opposition may have somewhat of a point. But then other times, you also need to know, especially with said opposition, what you are fighting against. So, if anything, this week, whatever opposition or obstacles you come across this week, pay attention to what the tone and what the nature of this opposition is, because it can give you a hint as to how you can push through or get around the resistance that you may come across during this week. So that is a call for this week. It's like sometimes you might have to wake up and choose violence and defend yourself, but other times you need to pay attention and see what's going on. Okay? So we'll get to Monday. Let's see what we got for the song this week. Ooh, okay. Obituary. Success is in the mistakes. It's a good song. So we're coming in Monday. with some, and it's from the same album too, called Halloween. Um, but yeah, it's basically a call for you to be like, okay, it's time to connect with that phoenix energy, rise from the ashes, and be ready to reset some things and put some old stuff to rest. Because Uranus in Gemini especially, it is about mindset. Like Uranus is about mindset and sorry, Gemini. I meant Gemini. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Gemini is about mentality and seeing the bigger picture and how thoughts work. And Uranus is about rebellion, revolution, the great reset, the great awakening. And so you might entertain thoughts that maybe before you weren't able to really accept, that maybe it could give you a chance to actually change and evolve. And so this is a call for you to really pay attention. Where is it where you'll no longer tolerate your boundaries being violated? Where do you need extra TLC and nurturing? What is it that tolerance will no longer be tolerated? Where do you need to throw down a boundary? Because sometimes if somebody else, like again, with the violence card especially, if there's a boundary that you need to set, if somebody else is upset with that boundary, that's precisely why you set it up in the first place. Remember that. So it's important to put some old stuff to rest. So that way you can walk away with no regrets and start again with something new. I've pulled this song for a few people, so has some pretty hard beats in here. I'm kind of excited to how the rest of the playlist is going to go. I'm going to put all the songs in the chat too, in case you want to look up these songs yourself. And she really does call it a song prescription because this is her songs are very much about cycle breaking. So if you ever want a little bit of cycle breaking, check out her stuff, okay? Again, not sponsored. I just like her music, okay? All right, Tuesday. We got the B word going on a lot. Oh, okay. New newbie. Leaving a trail of my cheese like a Cheeto. And this is from, I believe, EP number 4, EP number 6. Yes, the super French cover. It's really pretty. Um, but yeah, um, if there's been things that have been improving in your life, embrace it because you worked really hard to get to this point. Whatever rewards that you have received, whatever enjoyment you've had, however small it is, whatever you're able to choose in your life, whatever new transformation and new attitude that you have, embrace it. See the leaps that you made in, be it in your career, in your attitude, in just how you approach life. Own that boss energy on Tuesday. See how far you have evolved. And if there's things that you want to improve, remember you have that free will. You have a choice as to how you want to approach things. Now, granted, I have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. We've got we've got social things that we have to take care of. There are there are social obstacles, there are marginalizations, there's social structures that there are obstacles and barriers that can pop up. Stratification, that was the word I was looking for. There's stratification that happens in the society. There's exclusivity, financial barriers, etc. There's all these things that come up. And all of that, absolutely, we got to honor it. And also, definitely respect that whatever choices you've got, even if it's very small, that is still power you can use to make your life a little bit better, however small it is. So even if something as simple as just tuning into the stream was all you could do today, be proud of that. And I'm streaming on Tuesday as well, albeit it's gaming, but still. Remember that you have the ability to pick and choose. Even if something as simple as, do I want water or not? Yeah? Go ahead and get it or ask for it. So honor those choices, whether big or small, and recognize the impact you have, even if you think it's not much. All right. So next we got Wednesday. Stretch marks. My stretch marks I show so you see all my growth. Case in point, another reminder of how much progress you can make when you pay attention to what it is that you want and need in this life. It doesn't even have to be something too elaborate, you know? It can be something as simple as paying a little extra attention to make somebody's day. And remember that you have your own skills that you can shine. The middle of the week, remember everything you've had to do up until this point to get to this point. And there might have been times you've had to really push. There might have been times you've really had to go above and beyond. There might be naysayers you've had to push away upon. But if there's one thing that you need to remember, the songs certainly are a big reminder of that, is you are the magic. You have magic within you. Even if you are not a witch, a pagan, or like any of that persuasion, you are the magic. Remember your power. You have so much. You have so much that you can experience and so much to give. So remember that. Anyway, Thursday. A woman. So sexy in my sweats, granny panties. All right, so Thursday, it is the last day of the month. So it makes sense. This might be a time that it might be important to, especially whether you're whether you're a woman of a feminine persuasion or just need to embrace your divine feminine side. Embrace being you, embrace being yourself. I even think of that Megan Trainor song where whether whether you're dressed up in brand name stuff or you're in basic garb, the people that love you will love you regardless of what you wear and what you express. So find those people that love you like that. Tell them thank you. Hang out, maybe give them a little call. Give yourself a chance to catch up. Maybe give them a little let me give them a little hug. And take some time during the end of this month, which is happening on Thursday. Maybe take some time, sit down, list off everything that you feel proud of being you. Because there are some things that maybe for another person would have been way too overwhelming to handle, but you managed to do it just fine. And if you didn't think that already of yourself, you should be proud. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of your power. Be proud of your intuition. Be proud of all your skills. Don't wait for somebody else to affirm it. Though if you can get somebody to affirm it, that's a huge bonus. But don't wait for that. Don't wait for that. And take that time. Take that time to affirm it. Because once you remember what your power is, it makes it so much easier to express it from a much more centered place, too. It's necessary. Why? Because it's necessary. I know, especially if you grew up in a culture where that kind of thinking seems selfish and arrogant. But if you come from a place where if you're right now in a place where you need that confidence to be able to even get up in the morning, this makes that work, if anything, that much more important to do. So, finally, we get to Friday. Friday, May 1st, Beltana, May Day, the full moon in Scorpio, all that transformative energy. What are we bringing in? What is suggested to call in during this period? Hey, I love this song. We got this. I always say that to you guys as much, so this is just perfect. We got this. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy the process. This week, we got a lot of transformation. We got a lot of transformation. We got a lot of alchemy that we're going to do this week. And on May 1st, it's time to celebrate all that hard work you've done, be it spiritually, be it metaphorically, be it literally. Enjoy the new energy. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Relish in the new energy that you have stoked within yourself. And it's really interesting considering that the album that this comes from is from the album called The Alchemist. So that's just perfect. What we're doing this week, it is spiritual alchemy. So the first half of the week, you're going to take that time and start embracing the energy that you want to occupy in this new upcoming season. And in the second half of the week, you're going to embrace what is. Embrace what is right now. And then remind yourself on Friday when it gets to the weekend again, you got this, my friend. You got this. We can get through this. Whatever challenge we face, whatever obstacle we got, whatever boss battle we got to fight, you'll get through it. You'll get through it. You got this. So I gotta write out the song. Gotta write the songs here with that. That's the whole week. I gotta write out the songs for each week. So now we got a whole. You got a whole 6 tracks. 6 tracks that you can work with from Queen Herbie. It's awesome. Hope y'all enjoy these tracks this week. I wish I can play them for you guys, but it is what it is. All right. So I'm gonna type this out for you. So the question of why should I feel proud? I don't feel any bit proud. All the more reason why you need to do it. If you can't think of anything to be proud of, be proud of the fact that you're here. Okay? Do you know how amazing it is that we are here in this one big planet in the middle of a giant galaxy of and just a huge number of stars in existence. Out of all Class M life-bearing planets we could have been on, we incarnated on this one. And the odds, when you think about it a bit too much, it's tiny. Like, not even microscopic. At that point, it's past microscopic at this point. We can't even use it. We can't even use a microscope to even gauge this. It's huge. So the fact that you're here, that's a miracle. Okay? There's so much to be proud of. The fact that you've taken your time to actually listen to what your soul and what even I have to say, that's an accomplishment to be proud of. The fact that you have a heart, you have a mind, you have a soul. 3 to 5 things right there. There you go. There's your list. Start with that. Start with that. You don't even have to feel it right now. You don't have to feel it right now, but it's just a few ideas that at least you can work with to navigate this transformative week. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Oopsie. I was trying to space it out, but anyway. Theme. Oh, shoot. It's okay. I forgot with Restream, I can't space it out like that compared to Twitch, so sorry if you guys are a little bit more language sensitive. But she names these like this for a reason, so okay, Thursday. Okay. So that's the week. That's your Queen Herbie prescription. Thanks for tuning in. And now I'm starting to get a little bit of a habit nowadays where since the last few weeks we've had Seer Sundays in addition to Seer Saturdays. That's the back of the cards in case you're wondering what it looks like. It's so pretty. And then it's even have like this nice gold detail. But anyway, lately this month we've been doing like kind of like Seer Sundays a little bit, and I figured since there were some people who were used to like tuning in more on Sundays than they are on Saturdays, I have decided that towards like the end of my Oracle forecast, which is now, you can now jump into the queue and request a reading from me. The only catch for the Seer Sundays, if I happen to do a regular Seer Saturday like I did this week, is that because there has been a Seer Saturday already, I'm only limiting the queue to 5 people. There's already like there's two people on the wait list right now from like previous streams I've had because unfortunately they left right before I was even able to read them. So the queue for this week expanded to 7 people, but if I get through these first 4 people who have jumped in before before I finish off the queue, then they are officially going to be deleted. So for those who are new to the channel, welcome, because there are some new people here. For those who are not new, thank you for tuning in, but I'm going to repeat this. And for those who have jumped in, because I've gotten a lot of new viewers recently, and I will eventually put them in like maybe the channel rules or something. But here's how it works. So, at least on the Twitch side of things, if you request a reading, all you do is just type in !join in the chat, and then you will end up in my Play with Viewers panel. And that's the list of the people I get to read. Now, in terms of questions you can ask me pretty much anything. The only parameters that I'm not the greatest at and I just don't feel comfortable doing are I'm not exactly a predictive reader, so I can't really do will they, won't they, yes or like traditional yes or no questions unless it's like maybe like a pendulum or something. But even then, I don't like to be definitive with those because ultimately you need to remember that you are powerful as well. So I don't want to be like so definitive about that. I'm just going to tell you like things to watch out for. I also don't do like third party surveillance readings, like if somebody's cheating or is this person interested in me. A little bit of interaction at bare minimum will be nice if I'm doing a relationship reading, but for the most part, I prefer I prefer looking at dynamics, not so much a will they, won't they. And the final thing is I'm not the greatest with dates. I've tried so far. I haven't exactly found a method for that. So, on average, from what I've noticed, things tend to come up pretty like the fastest I've experienced is probably maybe like a week or 2 weeks when I pull for timing, and then furthest out I've had has been 2 months, but I do find that most of my most accurate portions tend to be from around basically from now until around Samhain, which is pretty interesting. So basically the spring and summer months I tend to have pretty spot on stuff. But then again, y'all have been pretty good. Like my viewers have been really good with telling me what's been going on with the readings lately. So if y'all want to tell me what it is you experience after the readings, feel free to comment whenever you see me next. I'm going to be streaming every day this week, so please feel free to tell me your updates of like, oh, what's been coming up? What's been going like here's what's been going on ever since you gave me this reading on this day, etc. You can also chat with me on Discord, Tandercia's Magic Circle, link down below in the description, or in the panel or on my profile page on Twitch. Feel free to like talk about your testimonials about what you've been going through since the reading, because I would love to know like what's been your update. And of course, because you're using the knowledge that you get from these cards, it could happen sooner than what I pull. And yeah, Sugar Plums, you're still in it. You are number 4, in case you're wondering. Um, but yeah, it'll automatically close the moment it gets 7 people. So don't worry, Cal. It'll be fine. Oh, nice. That is good to hear. Um, but yeah, basically whatever you want to ask me, go for it. It's just as long as you keep those parameters in mind, I can do it. I also don't do health questions. At most, I could probably give you a recommendation in terms of what team to look for when you're in your care, but that's about it. I don't do anything more specific than that. Well, that's good. That's good, Sugar Plums. I'm glad to hear that. But yeah, so now with that all out of the way in terms of like housekeeping, G Rock Blues, you are my first person of the night. So go ahead and ask your question. And well, I am an affiliate, so occasionally we might end up in ad church for a little bit. A little bit of an inside joke. Um, Monday through Thursday, it's ad jail. Friday, it's ad masjid. Saturday, it's ad temple. Sunday, it's ad church. So today's Sunday, so it's ad church. All right, general rating. You got it. And I really wanted to play some Lo-Fi Girl, but apparently their terms have dramatically changed to the point now that like you have to get a commercial license to use Lo-Fi Girl now, and even then, there's no guarantee you'll actually get it. So I have, even though I technically registered with them like a few years back, since the parameters changed so dramatically, I decided not to go for Lo-Fi Girl after all. So it's going to be mainly chill hop music I'm using from this point onward because at least the registration is so much simpler versus with Lo-Fi Girl, you have to you have to like show what your budget is, which is and even like share personal information. It's like that's a bit much. Whereas with like sites like Bureaucratic and um Chill Hop Music, at least like you can just go with the channel name and be done with it. So yeah, it was kind of sad because I mean, I do enjoy Lo-Fi Girls tracks, but on the other hand, though, I think out of all the lo-fi studios that have been created recently, Lo-Fi Girl has been the most, like, I will admit, Lo-Fi Girl is the most hit, I will say, because originally it was called Chilled Cow, and then I think originally they just kept sampling a lot of like pop culture, like a lot of popular songs. Like I remember there was this one really good lo-fi track that used instrumentals from Everybody Loves the Sunshine, a really good jazzy song by the way, in case you've never heard of it. And um yeah, between the image that they use as the cover of the original Lo-Fi Girl and some of the tracks they just kept on getting strike after strike after strike, and then eventually they rebranded as Lo-Fi Girl from what I could see. And then they tried similarly to chill hop music to make it more accessible to independent creators like myself, but they then I only recently found out via Reddit. Apparently 2 years ago they changed their creator usage policy to putting in a pa- putting in a page where you have to put in all this personal information. You just put in like how you want to use it, and then you put in a company name, your client name, like the brand name of your company, your personal name, email, phone number, link to website, and then you have to specify um which tracks you want to do, or you can just put in the radio, and then you have to specify what your project is, what your audience is, and what your budget is. And even with all that put in, you might not be guaranteed to even get the rights to even use their music. Versus Chill Hop is just link your cha- link your channel, put the name of your channel, just link your channels that you're going to use for streaming, and we'll just automatically whitelist you. That's all you have to do. And it's like, hey, okay. At least Chill Hop was like the better service. So yeah, really unfortunate because there are some Lo-Fi Girl tracks that I really liked, but if I do decide to use them in the future, it's probably gonna mainly be for maybe some personal video productions for the most part. I will say there are some chill hop tracks that unfortunately I can't play on the channel because of copyright strikes, but in this case it kind of makes sense because in the cases of some of the banned tracks that I can't play on stream, it's mainly because well, they just can't go beyond whatever copyright comes up for the sample that they use. So maybe maybe within Chill Hop itself they'll allow it, but then beyond Chill Hop you may have to go a little bit extra to actually use it for whatever project you want to use. So that kind of makes sense, a lot more sense, and at least they're more open about it, and they make sure that you don't have to do anything extra to use their music. So huge props to Chill Hop Music that at least they could actually do that. But yeah, anyway, enough radio politicking. Let's get to you, G-Rock Blues. Let's see what we got here in terms of your cards. I got 3 for you tonight in terms of our general check-in. And first we got the 5 of Pentacles. So 5 of Pentacles, I often look at it as a keeping up with the Joneses card, or an aspiration that it feels like it's right in front of you, but simultaneously it's far away from you at the same time. And it feels like the energy or the time to get there feels impossible. In one of my decks, the Shadowscapes Tarot, it has this illustrated stained glass on the top, and then there's like a woman who's just crouched over, but there's with this very marbly but almost hollowed out pentacle over top, but there's a butterfly. I feel like it's kind of like a Tinkerbell like figure of just like, don't give up, like you still have that chance. And then this one I get Alice in Wonderland a little bit, because this one, there's a door with the 5 of Pentacles on top, and then there's a giant key over here, and it's like she can still pick up and grab it, but it's like it might take a little bit of an effort to pick it up and then turn the key, but like at least you'll be able to go through the door. But it looks exhausting, and it can be like, it can also represent this sense of being left out, be it because of your resources or a lack of emotional connection. It can also stand for personal security and stability concerns. It could also be feeling kind of ostracized in some way, but it also can be an opportunity to finally open that door of whatever block seems to be coming up at this time. So the big ask, like if you're feeling like as if there is a kind of a bit of like a tiny bit of envy of, why does this seem easy? Like, why does everybody else seem to have this easier, but it feels like I have to do like these extra steps, these extra steps to succeed in half the things that you have to do. First off, yeah, absolutely acknowledge the obstacles and the stratification that you might be going through at this time. And then maybe take what parts that maybe you've been like maybe the green-eyed monster might be taken over for a little bit, and try to find a way to flip it and reverse it, and find out like instead like, hey, maybe there's something that they're doing that maybe I could probably start putting more into my life. Let me ask some questions or find some ways to make it easier on myself to be able to get to that point, or like see it as an aspiration of like, okay, if I'm feeling this way, clearly this is something that I want to get to, and let me find a way to get closer to this energy or to this need. So sometimes even just breaking down what it is that you feel like you're missing or lacking will then give you a new journey to work towards. Okay, this is how I can fulfill it in my own way. Whether it's socially prescribed or I have to craft my own way to get there, there's a way for me that I can at least get closer to this energy. So let's take some time and look at it. Let's take some time and look at what your life is right now, where you want to go, and the stepping stones that you want to go to get there. And find the simplest action you can take with whatever resources you have in front of you. So, for example, for me right now, I'm fundraising for Japan, which, a little bit of advertising here. I'm not a fan of doing it, but here we are. I'm fundraising for Japan through doing one-on-one readings. If anybody wants that, you're welcome to check out my Ko-fi page, ko-fi.com/Tonders. And the proceeds go towards my study abroad expenses, because I'm studying abroad in Japan. at Sanagakuin University. Super excited for that. And so the funds will go towards helping me take care of study abroad expenses. And you tuning into the channel already covers one part because of ad revenue from Twitch. Other ways you can help out are donations, be it through my coffee page or bits, or you could purchase the campaign tiered items, which are on the right side of the screen right now. I can do simple one card readings, all the way to a full session. If you find these prices are a bit too high, feel free to let me know, either through like a Twitch DM or something else, and we can come up with something that'll make it a little bit easier. Oh, sorry, Kel. I hope your internet improves. I know that sucks. That was me for a good chunk of last week, so I totally get that feeling. Hopefully things improve pretty soon. But let's continue on with G Rock Blues' reading here. So we got 2 more cards here. Let's see what the rest of them do. So next we got the Knight of Wands. We've been getting a lot of knights this weekend. I've been pulling knights like almost every pick tonight. We'll see if that happens again tonight. But the Knight of Wands, it's about paying attention to excuse me. I'm using an extender. Oh, okay. Yeah. Extenders can be a bit of a gamble, so yeah, hopefully hopefully there's some way that maybe your signal could be boosted. But anyway, getting back to Knight of Wands, it's about charisma, it's about passion and spontaneity. And so this week, it's a call for you to really pay attention to what lights you up, what gets you enthusiastic and comes alive. Because just because we are adults or about to become adults, because I do have some younger people in the audience here, so hello, welcome. This is your elder sister here. Anyway. Anyway, Knight of Wands, yeah. Just because we're adults doesn't mean we have to live boringly. If anything, it's more of a cachet to actually enjoy our lives a lot more however we choose to enjoy them. We have a lot more power in our hands than we give ourselves credit for. So remind yourself, what brings you alive? What gets you excited to get up in the morning? What are things that you've always wanted to try but didn't give yourself a chance, or you didn't at the time, maybe originally when you thought of doing it, you didn't have the confidence for it, but now you do. Allow yourself to try. Even if it's something small. For me, as you can probably tell, it's learning Japanese. And I don't know how fluent I will get after all of this. I don't know if I even at all will get fluent in a second language in this lifetime, but I still want to try. I still want to try whatever it takes. So, Knight of Wands. Figure out what makes you feel like this. And take on that fire horse energy. Because this is really going to make you blaze forward. It really is the year of the Rapidash and the Ponyta. For those who are Pokemon people. We're really blazing through this year. I mean, it's hard to believe that April's coming to an end this week. Like, part of my brain's still in March. Anyway, finally, for G-Rock Blues, the final card that we got for you this week. Y'all, I swear I shuffled, okay? I shuffled, people. Got the 10 of Wands. So, 10 of Wands. If you've had a lot that you've been carrying on you recently, this is a chance for you to delegate and maybe set some things down for a little bit until you got the energy to pick them back up again. If you are feeling burdened, it's okay to ask for a little extra help. And 10 is about completion. Wands, it's depending on who you ask. In my case, I have learned under the school that wands are the element of fire, and it's about passion and magic. And And in the case of Ten of Wands, there's a couple of things that could pop up here. So, Ten of Wands can often mean either an old school effort. Sometimes you might need to put in a little bit of elbow grease to get things done. Other times, most of the time, whenever I see this card, it often means that you're carrying on too much, and if you need to set things down for a little bit, it's okay, because they will still be there when you come back to pick them up. So I often use the metaphor of the grocery run. Those who've subbed here for a while, that you probably are tired of this metaphor already, but it makes a lot of sense with the Ten of Wands. So some of us, we like to like carry everything in one go, get it inside the house ASAP. But sometimes items can be so unwieldy that we have no choice but to make more than one trip to the door. And that's the case here. You might need to make more than one trip to the door, and that's okay, because it's gonna get there regardless. You might as well take the path of the most ease and the least resistance. So if you need to spread it out, if you need to delegate, if you need to take your time, it's okay. Those things will still be there when you come back. So that's what I got for you, G-Rock Blues. I feel like this weekend I've been very much in almost fortune cookie word salad mode, so please let me know if I'm not making any sense whatsoever. As those countries that speak other languages, as long as you put in the effort, they will be more helpful. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's with anybody. It's like, if you make even like the smallest bit of effort to make a change, to at least try to say some phrases in your language, or in the language, or even just like a bit of reference to the culture, a bit respectful of the culture, they are more likely to really want to be supportive. Unless it's the French and the Danish, yeah. Especially the French, goodness gracious. Well, the French is a little bit of an asterisk with that. If it's Parisians, they are they can be obnoxious. Parisians themselves have said as much. But if you're outside of Paris, it's actually not bad. If you're in the countryside, especially, they're really nice. But yeah, if it's Parisians, oh boy. Good luck to you. And this popped out just now, the Tower. So there might be a bit of a reset moment. A call for you, G-Rock Blues. Please pay attention. Yeah, G-Rock's right. They did say most, not all. But anyways, I did pull the Tower, and I did pull the Tower, so be prepared. You might need to pay attention to some foundational tenets in your life, or a foundation that may be unstable somewhere. You might need to prepare to like rebuild from the ground up. The good thing is, most of the time with my readings, if you get the Tower in my readings, more often than not, it's like it's like enough warning that at least you'll be able to rebuild the foundation before things like disastrously collapse. So I say just pay attention to the things that I just said earlier, and things shouldn't be too damaging. There might be some old beliefs that you definitely need to challenge for your highest and greatest good, and for the things that I described earlier, both for your personal reading and for the Oracle forecast, to go much smoother. So pay attention this week and see what comes up. That's all I got for you, G-Rock Blues. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And you are so welcome. I'm glad it made sense. Because I kept worried that I'm like, a lot of the time. So, glad I'm making sense here. So, Kel, hopefully your internet's a bit more stable tonight. Because you are the next person in The next person in the queue. Now, with that said, I feel like with Danish people, they're starting to I mean, if you man, there's some people who have managed to actually learn Danish. Like, there's this polyglot um, that I watched called Ikenna, though, come to think of it, it might not be Danish she actually learned, never mind. But there are some Danes that might be okay with people like non-native speakers speaking it, but yeah, most of the time if they're not up to the conversational level, they'll be like, yeah, it's okay, we can just use English. All right, General, for you too, you got it. Yeah, there's some languages I really want to improve. I really want to like get down Spanish at some point. And the tricky part about, at least here in the United States, is that we have so many dialects of Spanish here that what would be okay in one dialect would be offensive to another. There's this really um there's this really good song about like it's difficult learning Spanish, so you're just better off just picking an accent and just sticking with it until you go to a region where you might have to change some words a little bit. So I learned two dialects growing up. I learned the Queen's Spanish, essentially, or the King's Spanish, like basically like Spanish you would speak in Spain. Like I say, like for example, like in terms of like a couple of differences in phrasing, instead of saying caro, they say coche, and instead of saying okay, they say vale for okay. So couple of examples from that. And of course, well, being from here, you're more often than not, you're going to come across Mexican Spanish. That's very common. But occasionally you're going to come across other dialects, especially if you're up in like New York or down in Florida. New York, you're going to have, there's like a population of what they call New Yorkers, or as Cardi B would call them, bodega baddies. So essentially, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans that moved into the city and really established the culture there. And there's like a unique mix of people from the Caribbean who also have a really big establishment in New York as well. So it's like a unique cultural mix. And of course, like genetically already, it's a very interesting mixture as well. Like there's Boricua, which is like the indigenous population, and then there's also sometimes even Black and European ancestry mixed in as well. So it's a really interesting dynamic up there. And then there's even Guatemalan. My sister-in-law is part Cuban, part Mexican as well. So her Spanish leans more towards the Cuban and Mexican roots as well. So there's just so many accents they have to do, but like obviously with TV, there's gonna be a bit of a standard. In telenovelas, they're more likely gonna lean towards maybe like Mexican Spanish, especially Mexico City Mexican Spanish. Occasionally Oaxacan, but mostly Mexico City. And then the stuff you'll see like from Europe, it's obviously gonna be the King Spanish in mainland Spain. So there's that. So it is. The thing that always throws me off with Spanish is the ser and estar. Because especially because ser and estar, it's really weird. So ser, you're gonna use it more in terms of permanent things, and then estar is more about temporary things. So that's why you would say estoy bien for I'm fine, but it's really weird when you say you're a student. So instead of saying estoy estudiante, it's soy estudiante. So like I'm a student, but like the student's like a permanent thing. It's it's long term to permanent. So so that part always threw me off. And also the words are the words are gendered as well. So that's the other thing. That's one thing I liked about the Asian language, is that at least there's not as many gendered constructs with the Asiatic languages compared to the Romance ones or even the Germanic ones. Now, granted, there's still gender specific words, like in terms of referencing someone else, in Japanese at least. Kare for he, him, karera for they, them, and kanojo for she, her. But outside of that, there's literally no reference to gender whatsoever once you're speaking. It's like maybe some self-references, like watashi, watakushi, boku, but that's about it. Everything's pretty much like standard. And fun fact, a lot of the words that we use in Japanese, or not we, why am I referencing myself there? A lot of words used in the Japanese language, they come from court slang. Female court lady, court slang in particular, the more formal ones in particular, they come from female court slang. Mind blown. If you want to find out more about that, watch Kyotako. He's been doing these really cool articles on Substack lately. Anyway, sorry for nerding out for a few moments. I mean, I studied linguistics in college as well, so I don't get a chance to really talk about that side of me that often. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. Anyway, Kel, hope your Wi-Fi is working. I've got 4 cards for you tonight. So here we go. First off, ooh, this is a good one. And it's my favorite from this deck. We got the Two of Cups. And the interesting thing that I find about these readings is, like, oftentimes I don't find the major arcana to be the bigger thing for me, even though, like, they say it's minor arcana, but I don't find it to be that minor to me, because what's considered minor might actually be the detail that you need to make the turn around in terms of where you need to get to those major plot points, what small details you need for that. And this first card, the Two of Cups, honestly, in my opinion, it's a bit of a hot take. I find this to be a much more powerful card, in my opinion, than the Lovers. That's my hot take. If anything, I don't find the Tower scary. I find the Eight of Swords scary, because I feel like that, like, for me, when I see the Eight of Swords in like a personal reading, that's when it's like, okay, clearly my mind's gone too far in the dark. I gotta crawl back to the light. So I find Minor Arcana tells so much more, I think, than the Major Arcana. The Major Arcana is important, don't get me wrong, but I think the Minor Arcana, minor is underselling it, in my opinion. So in this case, Two of Cups, I find this to be more powerful than the Lovers, in my opinion, because Two of Cups, it's about emotional harmony, emotional connection. It can be romantic, not necessarily. Honoring my arrows in the audience. It can mean friendship, kinship, soulmate, cooperation, joyful connection, dual consciousness. And it's important to open up the door for connection, whatever that is, be it a spiritual connection or a connection with other beings, with nature, with your favorite animal or animals, your loved ones, etc. I'm feeling a call for connection this week. So that's one major part. You made your own language. Nice. And so, second card I got for you. I think I pulled this for you last night, actually. Remind me if I pulled this last night. 'Cause I think I did. The Ace of Wands. I know for sure I pulled it for somebody this week. This weekend, for sure. But yeah, the Ace of Wands that is the start of some new ideas. Some new passions are going to be stirring up for you this week. So it's important that you pay attention to your intuition and your ideas. Take them seriously. Obviously, not too seriously. Keep it light. Okay, I knew I remembered this. It was just last night, so I knew I pulled it for you. So Ace of Wands. Pay attention to those ideas that are coming up because they're going to be something pretty major for you, I think. And remember, once again, I think especially with the Two of Cups popping up with you together, remember that you are connected to not only fellow beings, we are mirrors of each other. I am just mirroring back like wisdom that deep down you already know. I'm just reminding you of it. And we are mirrors of each other, and also we are all connected on this planet, whether etherically or literally or metaphorically. Hello, Momo. Thank you. So, we are interconnected in this place as citizens of Earth. Looking at ourselves as global citizens. That is important. If you want to go even further than that, intergalactic citizens. Alright, so let's go to these next two cards here. I think we might come across a session of Ad Church pretty soon. Okay, we're still good. Awesome. Okay, so next we got... Bruh, you're getting some good cards today. I mean, no such thing as good or bad, but like these are really good ones you're coming across. 9 of Cups. That's really good, honestly. Like whatever's happening this week, like, or just this season in general coming up, there's some blessings coming your way, buddy. Like, really enjoy them. So whatever you're requesting, you're getting a divine assist. Because 9 of Cups, whenever I come across this card, especially with this version of the deck, it often means, like, wish granted. Pay attention to what's deep in your soul, ask for it, and universe will provide the way that you can get to them. It doesn't mean, like, I'm not talking about, like, the stereotypical, evangelical, like, pray and then lay back and think of England and maybe you'll receive something. Not that, no. Instead, it's more like ask, believe in that vision that you've wanted, navigate through the obstacles and the challenges and whatever you need to do to help the universe be in the middle. Pay attention to the opportunities that present themselves and use your discernment to find out which ones will work best for you, and use your abilities and use your magic to the best that you can, and eventually trust that eventually you will get there, whatever it takes. And you got divine assistance, so really it's okay to reach out for a little extra help while you're doing the work. And it can even be literal help too. Like if you've got a loved one or a friend or a partner or anybody who can assist you with something at this point, reach out to them because their assistance could be very valuable. And most importantly, remember, I'm going to be saying this over and over again till the cows come home. You are the magic. You are the magic. I don't want to say I know so, but I know so. I think you're gonna be fine. So let's go with this final card here for you, Cal. Let's see what we got. Okay, King of Cups. So the suggestion I have for you during this period of time is to take some time. Number one, craft what it is that you want at this time. Pay attention to what your intuition, what your higher self is trying to tell you to navigate through these things to get to where it is you want to go. Pay attention to your loving connections. And then take some time and cultivate your emotional awareness and centeredness. Find out what it looks like to be in a more centered place, or at the high ground, so to speak, of like you're channeling your inner Obi-Wan Kenobi, so to speak. Um, Tapping into your emotional intelligence, um, figuring out what your expressions of love and attention are, and being steadfast and patient with yourself, as well as cultivating your creativity and your patience. Alternatively, the King of Cups could also be a mentor figure. Like if there's somebody that you look up to that really makes you feel more centered within yourself, or has an energy that you aspire to embody or inhabit, if it's not too difficult for you, if they're not like in like a ridiculous social strata like a Hollywood celebrity or something maybe, or just if they don't feel impossible to reach for you, or they don't feel impossible for you to reach, maybe reach out to this person and see maybe if you could actually chat. Maybe exchange a few messages at most. Maybe have an in-person conversation or a phone call. But yeah, if you have someone that you aspire to with this energy, maybe look at their example and see what it is they do to get to that center place. If they can tell you how they get there, or at least try their best to occupy that space more often. You definitely need to make a website about this language, Kel. This is pretty interesting. But yeah, with that, Kel, that is my reading for you. Hopefully that gives you a bit to work with during this week. And thanks so much for tuning in. I hope things make some sense. I feel like this time I got a bit more sensical this time with my reading. But even so, I might feel good about it, and then I realize like, oh, I am speaking complete gibberish, and it's like, meh, okay. And then meanwhile, I could be feeling like, ugh, I could have read that so much better. And it's like, surprise, surprise. Oh my God, that was the best reading ever. Can you do it again? Oh man. Overthinking Anonymous, I'm telling you. Anyway, up next. Let me see. Fern, if you're still on here. Fern, you are next, my friend. And oh, I just noticed now, we just hit the 90 followers mark. Oh my gosh. We just hit the 90 followers. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for those who have followed this long. Honestly, it's hard to believe that I've gone from like maybe like what, like 12, 13 people to now 90. 90 in like 6.5 to 7 months. That's incredible. We gotta celebrate. We're gonna celebrate that this week. Let's do that. You didn't know Aoife was a faith before making this language. Aoife means child or children in yours. That's cool. And I'm glad the reading was good. Okay, so... Oh yeah, so since it is the month of Maying, it's gonna be May. I know there are gonna be millennials who are gonna be pulling that joke come this week, so here we go. I might be one of them, so watch out. But anyways, let's pull up some things that can be helpful for this month. I know you've been going through quite a bit, so let's see what things you can use to navigate this week and this month. Oof. I meant this season. Goodness gracious. Okay. Yes! Let's look at King's Day. I'm glad you were able to tune in. Ooh. Oh. Hmm. Okay, this is interesting. For some reason, I was like, I wanted to pull out one more card, and like my soul was like, stop. These two are good. And it's like, okay, that's. I mean, it's not much to work with, but let's see what I am able to tell you, Fern. Since it's only two cards, they both came out face up. It's now 3 a.m. Oh my god, Cal. Try to get some rest, okay? Get some rest, my friend. I'm gonna be back on. I'm gonna be back on tomorrow, so feel free to come back and let us know like how things went, okay? Anyway, so for Fern, aka Hallucinating Reality, got a couple of cards for you, and in case that, okay, this is something I'm gonna reveal, you guys. I'm not ashamed of this because I know there are nerds on a budget. If any time we get cut off by ad church, please feel free to. Good night, Cal. Thanks for tuning in. In case we get cut off by ad church, my YouTube channel is mainly a backup, so it's not going to show any ads. I mean, last I checked, it's like unless I'm putting copyrighted stuff in there, it's not going to show any ads. But feel free to have a second tab with this channel, with my second channel, DJ MK Off the Air, in case we get cut off by ad church. Because I'm not ashamed. Like, y'all, we need to stick together and really support each other through these hard times. And the last thing I need is you guys to be feeling like you're cut off from essential spiritual services, because I consider this a service. So, anyway, continuing on with Fern's reading. I got the Nine of Pentacles for you. I could have sworn I pulled this for you yesterday. Did I? Because there are a few repeats that I'm getting here. But the Nine of Pentacles, for this upcoming month, I feel like things. Okay, I did pull this for you. So Nine of Pentacles, it's a call for you for this upcoming month, to really pay attention to what makes you feel satisfied and content in this life, and most importantly, to harvest the fruits of your labor, because especially since you've been doing so much this month, like this April, it looks like this upcoming May, things are gonna start paying off. No, you did not miss your tune, Sugar Plums. I think you are after Fern? Yes, you are after Fern. So don't worry, you're fine. You're gonna be after Fern. You're okay. Deep breaths, you're here. Anyway, back to Fern. Things are really gonna start blossoming for you in May, from what I can tell here. And it's okay to allow yourself to enjoy the fruits of your labor, because what's going to be produced is going to be a lot. So enjoy what you have sown, what you have grown during the season, because it's going to be a lot. And remember the thing that I was saying with the other card. Remember, I keep saying, you are the magic. I'm going to be saying this till the cows come home. You got the Magician as your other card. So, a reminder also that you are the Avatar. You are the master of the four elements here. You've got so many skills and natural talents and powers of persuasion and manifestation that you can take on to really embrace the newness of your life. I'm feeling I'm feeling for you there's a breath of fresh air coming in this upcoming month. Like, if things have been feeling heavy in April, I feel like there's going to be some lifting in May. Now, what that looks like, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm feeling there's a call for you to practice more of whatever your gifts, like if there's some aspect that you've been neglecting or you're not feeling too confident about, or you haven't had the space to really try it out, might be a time for you to start exploring and playing with them. And I think rather than looking at it as like an audition where like you only have one shot, do not miss your chance to blow, a la Eminem, I think instead looking at it as an experiment, as a trial run. First you don't succeed, try again. What even are your talents? Let me see if I can at least give you a hint. So let's see what we got here. Is it like what should Fern work on during this period? Let's see. Let me spread out real quick. Okay. Oh, okay, I got two here. Got two more here. Okay. Things that you should probably look at. Yo. Okay. First. Okay. King of Swords. So the first skill that you should look upon is your sense of authority and discernment. That's the first thing that you need to practice more about how to wield that skillfully. Whenever I see the King of Swords, I think of Geralt of Rivia, like The Witcher. I keep thinking of that. But it's about clear thinking as well as rules, dharma, communication, and finding proof and the truth, and blending mental and spiritual pursuits, bravery and courage. You see it too. Like he looks like him. I mean, the man bun especially kind of gives that, and the sword in the back. It gives that vibe. Yeah, like the way that he's portrayed in here, it's giving Witcher vibes. It is giving Witcher vibes to me. So might be something you might want to adopt a little bit, like some of the vibes of Geralt of Rivia. And then yeah, discernment and knowledge. Combining practical knowledge with spiritual knowledge, combining the two together. That's one skill that you have in spades, or something that you can practice with. And hello, AlleyCat75. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right. So, I have room for one more person tonight. So if you would like a reading from me, all you need to do is type in !join and you will be in the queue. Thank you. All right. So getting back to you, Fern, the final card that I got for you in terms of maybe things to maybe practice and ponder, got the Six of Swords for you. And this one's about rites of passage. And transitions, and learning how to transmute, learning how to transmute, especially transmuting past experiences. Usually of a challenging or a traumatic nature. Yeah, basically, it's kind of like a bridge burning, but also a call. Basically, adapt. Basically, tapping into your phoenix energy. How do you transmute and transform and rebirth and evolve? And well, or maybe going for more Pokemon, your evolution card. So those are two skills that you could take a time during this coming month to allow yourself to evolve and adapt. And yeah, I mean, clearly there's a lot of abilities that you have, and you just need to just trust yourself. Yeah, and yeah, most of them are swords, with the exception of the magician. Yeah, I was, and also the pentacles. I forgot the pentacles too. You got the Nine of Pentacles, because clearly there is a break that you're going to have, and I think during this break there's going to be some spiritual pruning you can do of like, okay, here's more things that I don't have to take on or carry anymore during this break, and this is the new life that I can switch into. That's what I'm feeling with these cards. So, yeah, allow yourself to take a step into that new life and embrace it because you deserve it. Also, thanks for the follows, guys. I really appreciate it. We are 9 people away from 100. Can you believe it? We're about to be a small village pretty soon. I'm still processing that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Fern, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully that gives you a bit more to a bit of starting base to work with here. One time I asked who my guide is and Six of Swords came out. I still don't know what it means. Am I still in the queue? I had to leave and join back because your Twitch was glitching. Yeah, you're still in it. Don't worry. Don't worry, Allie. You're still in it. You're good. You are so welcome. In terms of answering the question of like what your guide could be saying, I'm thinking like in terms of your guide, I think it's somebody or something or some being that will help with transitions, and it's not arriving at your time, it's arriving at divine timing. So it's like Six of Swords, it's very much like divine timing. Like when like they're going to arrive when they're supposed to arrive. So it's partially like it's kind of partially like it's a call for you to have faith, and also simultaneously there's a bit of a trust the process. Like that's another way of saying having faith, but it's a combination of having faith, trust the process, and then also when you're going to go through a radical evolution, when the student's ready, the master will appear, that kind of vibe. Faith and Sag Chiron probably go hand in hand. Oh man, I know that's difficult, but sometimes that is what it takes. So yeah, Fern, I hope that helped you a little bit, at least like give you a starting point. Hopefully with the future streams, or if you get like a reading from me in the future, it should start filling in a bit more of what could that possibly mean. But it also could be a signal that your Six of Cups mentor could be showing up next month. So we'll see what happens. You are so welcome. Come on, I got. All right, sugar plums. Sugar plums, you are next, my friend. Another general. Okay, you got it. I'm glad. I am so glad, my friend. And now I'm thinking of my mentor Saima. Because she loves saying beloved and like she means it. I love it. When do I go live? Okay, good question. Typically I tend to go live around like 7:30-ish Eastern Standard Time. Occasionally I stream earlier in the day, like if I'm having a co-working day, like I'm gonna have on Thursday. It might happen like closer in the afternoon, so maybe like uh I would like to say maybe 3 or 4 p.m., but most of the time I tend to be around 7 p.m. until otherwise proven Eastern Standard Time. I try to sometimes I start a little earlier if I have an event going on, like Friday night for example. I'm going to be doing an earlier stream because I am doing a May Day ceremony on Friday. So, let me see. What am I doing on Friday in terms of what I'm streaming? Oh yeah, Sonic Mania Plus. So, I'm streaming Sonic Mania Plus on Friday. And so I'm gonna have to do it earlier in the day for that one. Probably it's gonna be more like the morning or like early afternoon for that one, because in the evening I'm gonna have to excuse me, in the afternoon or evening hours I'm gonna be prepping for um I'm gonna be prepping for Beltana. So that's gonna be fun. Good evening. Hi. Yeah, no problem. Just you're subscribed now. Like, well, not subscribed. Like, I think this is YouTube. You're following now. So just pay attention to the notifications whenever they pop up, and you can just tune in whenever you see it. So I'm trying to embrace more spontaneity lately. So so I got 5 for you, Sugar Plums, for your general. Yeah. All right. So we got 5 for you, Sugar Plums. Let's see what we got here for your general. Okay, we got the Ace of Cups. I haven't received this one in a while, so I'm happy to see it. I'm here to see it. And it's very much about emotional stirrings, emotional connection, the start of usually something optimistic or something good. And it's important during this period for you to tap into your emotions, whatever they happen to be. Recently I've been listening um to an activist witch named Kellyanne Maddox, and she was talking about like if you happen to lose your mojo, sometimes the best thing you can do to get that mojo back is really being honest about where you're at. Because especially in the era of social media, there's this tendency of wanting to be perfect with how you do things, be it manifestation, be it empowerment, etc. There's this tendency to wanting to feel like you have to be this aesthetically perfect, energetically perfect, perfect mood, etc. All these things that have to be like ducks in a row. And oftentimes the more powerful magic and creativity you do doesn't have to be that, actually. Sometimes the most powerful thing you could do is just be honest where you're at and just do it messy and just do it anyway. And sometimes that can be the most powerful thing you can do, is doing it messy. But that said, Ace of Cups, it can also mean like emotional connections, once again, like be it friendships, romantic relationships, being hopeful, because I mean, to quote Jyn Erso from Rogue One, rebellions are built on hope, especially we've got Uranus in Gemini, so very much there is that strong rebellion energy when it comes to evolving the way we think about ourselves and the world and how much we can progress. Most people tend to talk about it in terms of AI. I don't think it's limited to that though. I think it's also in terms of how we do social consciousness. I'm seeing this vibe more and more that we are starting to get beyond global boundaries, like traditional boundaries of countries and cultures, etc. What I'm seeing is it's more of a globalization, but not the way capitalists and like global political science tends to talk about it. I see it more as a spiritual globalization where we are remembering that we are citizens of this planet Earth and we are seeing each other as Terrans, as Earthians, as people of planet Earth, that we are connected to each other and thus we need to take care of each other as being parts of this planet. And I am feeling, for your sugar plums, that it's going to be a reminder of that energy, of that connection that we have in this planet, as well as the connections that we have to each other, be it as friends, be it in love, etc. And also oneness as living beings on this planet that we call Earth. So that's the first card we got here. Let me just make sure we're good on time. Yeah, surprisingly, ad charge is not really happening today. It's nice. Okay, anyway. Up next, got the Two of Swords. So, oftentimes, when I come across the Two of Swords, there's often an impasse or a stalemate of energy of trying to come to a decision or trying to pick between two roads. And sometimes either both of them could be super appealing, like they're both things that you want, but it kind of feels like as if we have to like choose one now at the expense of another, or it's like a no-win scenario trying to pick the lesser of two evils sometimes. But it feels like there's like either way, regardless, there's like this opposition energy, it sometimes feels like when it comes to this, or there's a conflict of thought that just has very little to no smooth resolution. And sometimes you may have no choice but to choose an action or a road that you have to go down in order to at least be able to sleep at night at bare minimum and move forward at most. And the biggest thing you have to remember when you come across Two of Swords energy is part of it is self-trust. That whatever that you decide in this moment, even if it's not the most ideal of circumstances, that you will come on the other side okay, and trust that whatever process that you have to go through in order to get to the place where you want to get to, that you will be okay. That's the one message that I can get from this. It's like whatever you have to decide that makes it easier for you to sleep at night, you're going to get to the other side and you'll be okay. Whatever that looks like. That's important. So, up next, our third card here. Oh, case in point, Seven of Cups. Indecision is a decision, but it's not the best one to take at this moment. You get like right now, at least not right now, but like whatever time that you're thinking of making a decision, whether it's this week or it's the coming month, in a few days, there is a decision that you are going to have to make. And again, it might not be the right one or the correct one or the most socially attractive or personally attractive one. But the important thing is you're gonna have to make a decision and take a action, make some progress. You can't get stuck in the brain. Eventually you're gonna have to do something. And again, it does come down to some self-trust. I mean, you have to be aware of the obstacles, social obstacles and marginalizations, of course, but there are some things where you're just going to you have to trust in your abilities enough that you need to take a risk. This guy you met, think you're just going to friend zone him? Yeah, but I mean, you're going to have to make a decision, and again, I know the scary part when it comes to making decisions is just not being able to know what the result is going to be at that moment, even with our intuition and precognition. Sometimes it doesn't work the way the movies make it sound like, and it can get really scary sometimes. But it's important that, again, you bring in that self-trust and discernment, and trust that whatever process that you pick, whatever thing that you decide to do, it will give you a stepping stone towards the thing that will be the most beneficial to you at this time. So have faith that you will navigate to the other side, no matter how sometimes things can get rather difficult emotionally. That's okay. Honor those feelings. And then whatever you can do to keep going, please do that. With love, self-compassion, and skillful means. So, next up we got the Emperor. So, masterful thinking. Got some Martian energy that you need to draw in from this season. The biggest thing that I'm getting with the Emperor is the Emperor knows strategy. Could be a mentor, could be somebody you come across in your life, etc. But it's very much about authority and power, or even an energy you need to occupy in your life. That too. But it's about authority, power, leadership, strategy, analysis, taking action. So continuation of the Two of Swords and Seven of Cups energy, that like you need to be like, whatever decision that you make, don't make it as a tiptoe. Be really certain. Make confident strokes on your canvas. Move. Of course, this kind of energy can sometimes feel oppressive, especially if you leave it unchecked. So make sure when you make these decisions that you're not disrespecting other people's free will, or stepping on other people's toes, or being overly controlling. So make sure whatever power that you want to exercise, that it's in check, and especially aligned with the values that you hold during this time. And watch out for the tendency of control. Like, watch your intentions with your energy, especially the tone of the energy that you are going to use for a situation, because sometimes it needs to be power of rather than power over. Hopefully I'm making sense here. I feel like I'm starting to get into, I almost said sugar cookie, fortune cookie territory again with my brain, but hopefully I'm making sense here. Okay, so we're down to our final card here. Let me just make sure we're not in, oh, add church. Add church. Oh boy. You sure? Because I'm seeing the timer. I'm seeing the timer right now. It's saying, oh, ad starts in 2 minutes. Okay. We got enough time for one more card. Okay, let's see how fast I can do this. Okay. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords. I think I've pulled this for you in the past. So I'm seeing from the group of cards that I've got here, there's some sort of critical decision, a really hard one that you've had to do. And the biggest thing right now, not right now, but like during this period that is addressing here, that we're covering here, is the important thing is to make sure that you keep your emotions as kind of a note, like keep them as a note in mind, but also at the same time keep them in check. You can tap into them when you need to, but ultimately these are things that you got to keep in check as you make your decision, and make sure you have explored as many parameters as you can when you make these hard decisions with the cups and the swords. And excuse me, tap into your intelligence. Um, you don't want to go Ice Queen on this energy. You don't want to go too icy with this energy, but instead, and try not to go for like the mean or the put offing or the off-putting energy when you do the decision, but instead focus more on what would be the most benefit to you and to the other parties in the situation that you end up in. So yeah, it's not like Ice Queen, it's more so like let's go for more of a rational decision rather than a gut punch. So that's what I'm seeing for you. So we're going to take a little bit of a break here, and then we'll get to Alley Cat's reading. So stay tuned, everybody. Okay, welcome back. Thank you so much for your patience when we have gone through ad church earlier. I know it's kind of an ad church myself in a way with this campaign. If you enjoyed what you have seen here tonight, please feel free to come to my coffee shop, ko-fi.com/tonders, and find out my offerings. Whatever you want to do one-on-one. So if you enjoy what you see here, please feel free please feel free to check me out one-on-one, or just come back over next weekend and see what other readings that I do live on the air. So again, thanks Sugar Plums for tuning in tonight, and I hope this has given you some answers that you can work with. So with that, hold on one sec. There we go. Okay. So with that, I have a bit of incense here. So that I might have enough energy actually to do one more tonight. And then I'm gonna end it here. Well, besides Alley Cat, I think I might have energy for just one more tonight. So if anyone wants to jump in the queue, now is the time that I'm gonna shut it down. But Alley Cat, if you are still here, you are next, my friend. Okay. So, you know you can do a general reading, but would you be able to do one about like love or like love life? Yeah, sure. Is there any particular aspect of your love life that you want me to look at, or just like a general gaze at your love life? Because I mean, I can do that. Okay. General gaze at love life. You got it. I had to relight some incense here because it smelled really good. I wanted to keep it going. Okay. All right. I admit I think it's probably because of the formats that I've worked. I'm not the greatest when it comes to love readings, but like in terms of like general frequency, I'm pretty good at that. What I'm finding, and already I jumped out with like Ace of Cups. So clearly this has been like one of the biggest concerns you've had probably, or something on the brain right now. So pretty much self-explanatory. It's the current energy of the reading. But I think it's probably because like most of the love readings that I've had over the past few months have been kind of in a rushed position because I worked for a kind of hotline, so to speak, like an online internet hotline, and I had to like answer such hard questions so quickly, and oftentimes like the questions kept coming out. I was like, is this person cheating on me, or like when will this be resolved, etc. And I kept on like getting questioned, like almost every time a love reading came up, it was always that kind of question. I was like, yeah, when it comes to love readings, I just can't do stuff like that. So it's like that's when I started putting the parameter of like, listen, this isn't my forte, and frankly, it's not the best use of the cards. It's really not the best use of the cards. From what I find. Like a general vibe, and especially like trying to guess like whether somebody's interested in you, it's like when I think about it, it's like, did you at least say hello to the person? That's the bare minimum I have when it comes to like compatibility readings. It's like, did you at least say hello to the person, or at least talk to this person? Like, I get shyness, but this is like a whole other level. You know how many people have hung up on me because of that? Oh my god. God. I don't know how I did it for so long. Kinda glad those days are over. or mostly over. I still kind of go on there from time to time, but I don't make it my central thing anymore. This Twitch thing is where it's at, because at least I can like get a response from you guys, which is what I like about it. All right. Anyways, let's keep going here. So, got 3 more cards. Got the 10 of Swords. So, I'm feeling it's a past thing, that there might have been like a recovery of some... Has there been some heartbreak that you might have recovered from of some sort, or like some sort of... I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like an aftermath of like a betrayal of some sort. I went there to break up in December. Oh, okay. So it's kind of fresh. But yeah. Yeah, I was sensing like an aftermath of a breakup or a heartbreak of some sort. Because like usually when I come across Ten of Swords, especially like I like this imagery of the Ten of Swords, because it's kind of like there's kind of an echo of the difficulty that you went through, but it's for the most part behind you. I know it's a little bit different considering, well, Hyun has the Triumph of the Moon deck, which is like a fairy tale, and it uses the story of Sedna in that case, which, yeah, for Ten of Swords, sometimes the revelations can be very brutal, but necessary, to be able to find the hope after the disaster. But yeah, in this case, yeah, like, I feel like the things that are happening in December are starting to like go behind you, so to speak. So I think like you're starting to emerge from that. Let's see what the other 2 cards have to say, and we'll see. So we've got the 4 of Swords next. So clearly you're taking some respite and some rest and recovery time. Or if you haven't gone through it, you certainly are going to need it before you start your next chapter in love. And this period and this week, and I don't know if you were here earlier for the stream, but the first half of the week is very like from what I picked from my Queen Herbie deck, which is all songs, by the way, from this really great rapper, Queen Herbie. The first half of the week, from what I sensed from this, it's very much a transmutation period. A chance to finally let go of the mentalities and the energies and the attitudes that haven't served us. And then the second half of the week is going to be a focus on reestablishing what makes you, why you feel proud of yourself, what are things that you've accomplished, embodied, etc. And when we get to May, when we start up with May, it's going to be about trusting that process, that like the things that you have taken the time to develop and create this weekend, let them emerge and see what unfolds. So similarly, through love, I think right now it's a good time to give yourself maybe a reflection and recharging period, a rest period for a little bit, to allow yourself to like reestablish that sense of self. I mean, we are independent beings regardless of whether you have a partner or not, but especially if you've broken up with a partner, whether you've had them for a few months to a year, or you've had them for a long span of time, you are still in a way rebuilding a sense of self that you've had without that other person in that status as significant other. And even if you were independent before this, it's still that interconnection, like the tone of that relationship, if you decided to keep it as an amicable connection, that's changed. And if you decided to do a clean break instead, or reduced communication at bare minimum, yeah, it's difficult. So definitely, especially since it's so fresh, like it hasn't even it hasn't even hit the 6 month mark yet. Take it easy on yourself. Take it very easy on yourself. And finally, we got justice. And it's a call for you to trust that things will resolve in your favor. Whether it is another relationship, confidence in yourself, a new community that you come across or a new support, whatever it is, natural law will take its course. Whatever that needs to be resolved will be resolved. And it's very much whatever that you are going to examine in the face of love, do so in terms of objectivity, seeing the whole picture, and most importantly, seeing it through wholeness and fairness. Wholeness in terms of yourself, not looking at it as a completion because you are already complete as this being. And the connection with the other person, it is an expansion of the being, an expansion of the being, not a completion of the being. You're not a missing half. You are a whole person. Together, you were creating a powerhouse. So, excuse me. So together, you are creating a unit. So, again, whatever needs to be resolved will be resolved in just time. And it's mainly going to be divine timing at this point. But I think the moment that you're able to look at the relationship that you had with, if it wasn't an amicable one, with some regard. If the moment you're able to look at it with some regard, but not so much like wrenching, or if you did have to break up due to like very risky circumstances, just like, oh my god, I had to clear out of Dodge of this relationship. I can't really tell what vibe of the relationship was, but like whatever it was, like if you're able to put some emotional distance or some rationale towards the relationship you just got out of, I think that's when you can say that that you may be ready to move forward. The biggest thing that you got to give yourself when it comes to leaving a relationship like this is taking account of as many aspects as you can about the relationship. Maybe reminding yourself like what dynamics didn't work, what you actually need in a relationship, that if excuse me, if you are going to be this person long term. And as much as people tend to hate to admit it, like, what parts do you want to contribute? Because it does, I mean, especially if you're in a partnership, it's like it takes two to tango. So it's like, what parts do you feel more comfortable contributing, and what parts do you want, would you prefer maybe getting a little extra help upon, etc. Then again, I have been single for quite a long time, so I might not be the best person to say this, because like it's one thing to do it when you're like when you're like a friend or a third party like I am as a reader. But another thing when you're actually in the thick of when you're in a relationship, it's very different. Because sometimes that logic that seems like common sense can sometimes fly out the window when there are really strong emotions involved. So again, take it easy on yourself as you're navigating through this. Okay, and I decided to pull out a couple more cards for you. I felt like an urge to pull out two more, and funnily enough, I got the Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Cups for you, which is interesting. So I'm thinking for your next go around in love, um, again, it's calling divine time. It's very much divine timing I'm getting with this. So this is very much a trust the healing process. You will be ready and you will be confident. You will know, be like, I mean, sometimes it's like that film Onward where it's like you'll never be ready, merge. Sometimes it's like that, but other times it's like, actually, oh my god, you know what, I'm actually ready to move forward. Wow, I think I know what I want to do now. I'm ready. Wow. And so I think what you need to do now is just trust that the end of the cycle will come in its right time and you will be ready to love in your way. And the other thing that you can do at this point with the Knight of Cups energy, take some time to indulge your romantic side. And I'm not talking about it in terms of like a rebound. That's not what I'm saying here. If anything, it's more so indulge in your romantic side, as in allow yourself to explore the passions. If there's been something that you might have had to like put down because of your partnership or because of the resources you had that was going towards the partnership, it might be time to start picking that up again and maybe find somebody that is much more supportive of the interests that you have, even. And this might be even a good determination of like, okay, which things would I prefer my partner participate in with me, and which things would I prefer to just do it on my own or with friends rather than romantically. But yeah, the key thing is, even in a partnership, it's very important to continue to connect with your whimsy, with your spirit, and with the world around you. If anything, the right partner should actually, if anything, enhance your relationship with the world, not narrow it down, per se. If it's going to be narrowing, it's more so about expanding the family tree and the friendships you have, not make your world so narrow and small that it's like there's not much you can navigate. If it makes you feel that way, run the other direction. Run. And they're trying to make you feel small. Run. Toxic person. Run the other way. Run the other way. See that toxic person? Will run the other way. It's a really good TikTok where it kind of has like an aerobic style kind of video that kind of covers that. It's hilarious. But very true. Very, very true. But yeah, that's what I got for you, Alley Cat. I hope that helps you navigate. And most importantly, know your worth. Know your worth. You're the magic, and know your worth. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hard to believe we just hit 91. Oh my goodness. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. And with that, I think I will call it as the end of my Oracle broadcast, my Oracle forecast, because I'd like to keep this one a bit shorter compared to my Saturday streams. But Tarot will be back this weekend. So again, if you want to support my business, get a bit more information, want to get something more one-on-one, please feel free to check out my campaign, Operation Gakuin, on my coffee page, coffee.com/Tonders. Next time on here, tomorrow, I'm going to play Escape Simulator. on this channel. So it's going to be basically like themed escape rooms. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you happen to have like the first escape simulator game, and you want to play along with me in the room, please feel free to jump on tomorrow night. It's going to be a lot of fun. I love escape rooms and I love puzzles. So I've played it a few times at Tantalus Studios in the past. I would love to do it again if he happens to be here still. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun, very interesting puzzles, etc. Definitely give it a go if you have this game. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to continue on with Stronghold 1. We are going to start with Mission 5 when we continue this, and we'll see how far we go in about an hour or two of gameplay for each day. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, the Escape Simulator one. Yeah, I'm playing it tomorrow if you want to join in. And then Thursday, it's going to be a co-working day because I'm going to be preparing for an event on Friday. So heads up, Friday's stream will be earlier in the day because in the evening, when I usually stream, I will be at my May Day event. So that's why if you happen to tune in like 7 p.m. and you don't see anything, so maybe like a stream that I already did, that's why. So keep an eye out for that, for the notification for that. And then we will do it all again with Seer Saturday and the Oracle Forecast on Sunday. More tarot coming your way. In terms of other stuff, the charity of the season is the Foundation for Women's Health, and right now they are partnered with Lupita Nyong'o's foundation to come up with less invasive ways to treat fibroids. I believe the statistic is like 1 in 6 or 1 in 8 women and AFABs will most likely be diagnosed with fibroids. It's a pretty common problem. And most of the time, the treatment tends to be either ablation or hysterectomy. But at least in my home state, there's other less invasive treatments for fibroids, but sometimes they do come back. And so the proceeds from this campaign will go towards finding more humane and less invasive ways of treating fibroids, hopefully in a permanent manner. So if you want to find more information about that, feel free to look this up. Like I said, again, got this campaign going to save up for my study abroad program this summer. So if you want to purchase a reading from me, this is the time to do it because I've got plenty of time on my hands. So please feel free to purchase a reading from me. Other things, I have a Discord listening party, which I still need to schedule. So I'll put up a poll probably tonight or tomorrow to see when the next one should happen, since we're gonna get into May pretty soon. And in real life, I'm going to be at the Isle of Queen tour as an attendee in Philly on August 1st. There's still tickets remaining, so if anybody wants to join me on that, feel free to do that. She's a really awesome rapper, and also this is where I got these awesome cards from. They're super pretty, really high quality. I've been getting a lot of good use on them, so like if I could actually come across Queen Herbie myself, or maybe her spiritual advisor Shabala, Queen of Lions, and tell her like, hey, we've been getting really good use out of these, I really appreciate it, thank you for creating these, and also expansion pack when. That would be kind of cool to say. A girl can dream. Anyway, here's where you can find me outside of my streams. I got Blue Sky, I got Discord, I got TikTok. I back up or simulcast all my streams on DJ MK Off the Air. And then my second channel, Theological Otaku, is going to be a vlog channel. So once I get to Japan during the summer, get ready for some vlogs that I'm going to edit, hopefully in real time. I will put it on this channel here. I have a Substack called The Third Nerd, so thirdnerd.substack.com. I always keep forgetting to change the cover photo, my offline photo, to say thirdnerd.substack.com, because unfortunately I used to have a blogspot back in the day. It wasn't called The Third Nerd, but I typed blogspot out of habit because I have an old blogspot site. That's still up if you're curious about seeing it, but it's old. And of course, like I said earlier, I have a coffee shop if you want to like see the behind the scenes of what I do, as well as if you want a more one-on-one experience, because this is just scratching the surface. I go much deeper than this. This is just a short list of what I do. Finally, this episode was filmed on the homelands of the Nanticoke and Lenape indigenous peoples of the United States, aka Turtle Island. If you want to find out more about whose indigenous lands you are living on, as well as ways you can contribute to the project yourself, visit native-land.ca for more information. So that's pretty much it for tonight. Hope you all have an amazing week, an amazing month. And it's gonna be May. Hard to believe it's gonna be May. I don't feel it. I really don't. Good God. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all have a great day. And as always, may your heart be your guiding key. So for those who are watching, the replay, this is the end of the video. For those who are live, especially on Twitch, stand by for a raid. I'm going to raid you guys to Blue Scooty, who is a Tetris player, and he is the first person to officially, traditionally beat Tetris. So he's a pretty cool young guy. Give him some love. He sometimes plays Rocket League on there too. So he's a really cool, awesome guy. Be nice, say hello, and give him some support. So till next time, everybody, I will see you later. Bye! And tomorrow we're going to do some Escape Simulator, so I hope you have fun with that. And I just saw that he just went offline. Shoot, I just missed him. Once again, my timing be timing. Time be timing. Okay, let's see who else we can do. Okay. Change of plans. It's gonna be Fazani instead. So you'll be ready with Fazani. So I hope you enjoy her videos. And yeah, I'll see you next time. For realsies this time. Bye.